Welcome back to another explainer. You know, we're firm believers here that history is constantly hiding its most incredible secrets literally right under our noses. Today, we're exploring 4 absolutely mind-blowing ancient mysteries. But here's the catch. These weren't found after decades of painstaking, targeted archaeological mapping. No way. These 4 secrets were never meant to be found at all. They were discovered completely, purely, 100% by accident.
Okay, let's dive into this. Just imagine for a second. You're just going about your normal day. You're out fishing, or maybe you're pouring concrete for a new building, or just scanning a leg for a modern shipwreck. And suddenly, your ordinary Tuesday turns into a moment that completely rewrites human history. That's exactly what happens when routine work unearths the impossible. Today, we're going to look at those exact moments when everyday activities collided with ancient secrets, making us question absolutely everything we thought we knew about our past.
All right, let's kick things off with number 1, Michigan's underwater Stonehenge.
Our first thrilling story takes us to the cold, deep, and murky waters of Grand Traverse Bay, located in Lake Michigan. So the year was 2007. Underwater archaeologist Dr. Mark Hawley was on a mission, but it had absolutely nothing to do with ancient civilizations. He was just using standard sonar technology to scan the lakebed, basically hoping to find the wreck of an old, missing ship. But as he watched his monitors, something bizarre began to pop up. Instead of the jagged wood and iron of a sunken vessel, he saw a long, incredibly straight line of massive stones. We're talking about a structure stretching over a mile across the pitch-black bottom of the lake. These were not just random glacial rocks. They were deliberately arranged, and some of them weighed multiple tons.
And what's really interesting here is that as Dr. Hawley's team examined this seemingly impossible formation, they realized it featured a distinct, deliberate carving on one of the stones, an illustration of a mastodon. Yep, an Ice Age animal. To really put the sheer scale of this discovery into perspective, we have to talk about the number 10,000. Mastodons went completely extinct over 10,000 years ago. Experts were just stunned by this realization. This formation, which people playfully dubbed America's Stonehenge, is estimated to be around 9,000 to 10,000 years old. Just think about that for a second. How did early humans move such incredibly heavy stones? And more importantly, why did they do it? Right before the lake waters rose and swallowed the whole site. So, what does this all mean? Well, there are a few leading theories on how this site was actually used before it sank. It might have been used by ancient peoples to funnel and hunt large game, kind of like the mastodon carved on that rock. It could have been a site for profound spiritual ceremonies, or it could have even acted as a massive ancient calendar. Because of how sensitive this 10,000-year-old marvel is, its exact location is actually still kept heavily guarded secret. But this single accidental shipwreck hunt completely rewrote what we thought we knew about early humans in North America.
Moving right along to number 2, the dinosaur-era fish.
Let's shift gears from the cold lakes of North America to the vast, mysterious depths of the ocean for a creature straight out of the distant past. Picture it, 1938, off the coast of South Africa, a completely ordinary commercial fishing trawler is pulling up its nets. It's just another routine day catching fish for the market. But then, the captain spots something in the net that simply shouldn't exist. He pulls up this unbelievable, strange, heavily armored bluefish. He didn't know what it was, but he knew it was definitely bizarre enough to save and show to someone who might.
Now, to really grasp how massive this discovery was, you have to understand the timeline here. Before 1938, scientists actually knew about a strange fish called the Coelacanth, but they'd only ever seen it in rocks. They firmly believed this creature went extinct 66 million years ago, literally right alongside the dinosaurs. Its fossils were everywhere, but the idea of a living one, that was considered absolute science fiction. And then, we get that accidental discovery in 1938, which instantly transported a prehistoric ghost right into the present day, where it's now studied as an actual living fossil.
The real jaw-dropping moment came when that fishing captain showed his strange blue catch to Marjorie Courtney Latimer, a local museum curator. Can you imagine the look on her face? She looked at this heavy, scale-covered beast and immediately recognized it from the fossil records. She realized she was looking at a coelacanth, and it was recently alive. It sent an absolute shockwave through the global scientific community.
This completely shifts our understanding of evolution, mainly because of 2 ancient features. It possesses incredibly primitive lungs and these very distinctive lobed fins. These fins are fleshy and they actually move in an alternating pattern, looking suspiciously like they could be the evolutionary precursors to legs. The fact that this ancient creature survived down in the deep ocean for millions of years without changing much proves a wonderful point.
There are still profound, ancient mysteries swimming around in our modern oceans right now, just waiting to be caught.
All right, getting into number 3, the terrifying black sarcophagus. For this one, we're heading to the sun-baked streets of Alexandria, Egypt in the year 2018. And fair warning, this one gets a little dark. Routine construction happens every single day in a bustling city like Alexandria, right? Workers were digging the foundation for a new modern building. It was loud, dusty, completely normal work. But suddenly, the heavy machinery hit a massive obstruction. It wasn't a pipe, it wasn't bedrock, it was a pitch-black granite sarcophagus that had been sealed tight and buried deep beneath the city for over 2,000 years.
And we are talking about a serious hunk of rock here. 30 tons. That is the weight of the black granite sarcophagus they unearthed, so definitely not a light DIY project for ancient builders. It was gigantic, incredibly heavy, and just imposing. The sheer size of it and the fact that it was made from this dark, ominous stone was unlike anything archaeologists in the area had seen before. You can imagine the tension in the air was just palpable as researchers prepared to crack open the lid of this 30-ton mystery.
Now, when an untouched Egyptian tomb is opened, there are certain things you kind of anticipate. Archaeologists completely expected to find royal treasures, gold, jewels, or maybe an undisturbed pharaoh. But what they actually found, it sent chills down their spines. Inside, there was zero gold, no jewels. Instead, they found 3 skeletons, completely submerged and just swimming in a thick, mysterious, foul-smelling red liquid. Yeah. One theory is that the sarcophagus might have been used in bizarre ancient rituals or some unknown mummification process. It was a pretty chilling reminder that the ancient world still holds terrifying secrets right under our modern infrastructure. And finally, number 4, ancient artifacts and beads.
You know, you don't always need a 30-ton black coffin to turn the historical record completely upside down. Once again, we find ourselves with ordinary workers, divers in this case, just going about their normal routine day in a totally unexpected location. But amidst all the mud and debris, they stumbled upon something incredibly delicate, beautiful, and perfectly preserved. A set of ancient beads, deeply linked to early spiritual practices. To find something so intricate, surviving against all odds in an environment where it should have long since decayed, that was nothing short of a miracle.
So the crucial takeaway here is what these small artifacts actually represent. The incredible advanced craftsmanship of these perfectly preserved beads points to deeply rooted spiritual practices taking place thousands of years ago. It completely challenges our established timelines of religious history. The level of detail shows a society that had the time, the tools, and the spiritual devotion to create these items way earlier than historians had previously mapped out. It turned a completely ordinary day of work into a literal history-changing revelation.
It's all kind of like a giant puzzle, isn't it? These 4 discoveries, a 10,000-year-old underwater monument, a fish that outlived the dinosaurs, a dark Egyptian sarcophagus, and beautifully preserved spiritual artifacts were all found completely by chance. They prove that the past isn't just locked away in museums, it's hiding all around us. Which leaves us with one final fascinating thought. As you go about your routine today, what ancient history-rewriting secrets might be buried in the earth directly under your own feet right now? Keep that curiosity alive, and thanks for exploring these incredible accidental discoveries with me today.